Hello everyone, I hope you are doing really well. Here today for the second instalment of my long waffly video all about business. So this video is all about the process of putting the boxes together, how I go about planning the boxes and getting all my supplies together and then putting the boxes together. So I hope you enjoy it and I will see you all really soon. So it changes, it's different every month really. Some months I have a theme in mind for that particular months in advance, if you know what I mean. So say I knew that November was going to be a Christmas themed box ages ago, obviously. So that kind of thing. Or the theme might come from I've seen a particular fabric or a particular set of fat quarters that I've really loved and that's really inspired a theme that I can put together. Or the other place themes come from is there are so many fantastic independent designer and makers out there at the moment making some gorgeous things. So sometimes I've seen something such as the pattern weights from Danny from Oh So Quaint, the donut pattern weights. I saw those and knew that I wanted that in my boxes. I wanted to buy those for the boxes. So I got in touch with her and we decided on February, which was Valentine's Day, which was Valentine's month. So I went for a Love is Sweet kind of theme. That was last February. So that's kind of where the themes come from. They come from different places, as I said, and then the next step is trying to bring it all together and get the right fabric that matches and the right fat quarters and the right bits and pieces to go into the boxes that all kind of bring this theme together. Some months is easier than others. Some months it's really hard trying to bring the theme together. But it's a really fun process. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge that I really enjoy doing. And I always like to, if I can, I like to include an extra little sewing gift into the classic and luxury boxes from such as Danny's pattern weights, or for example, I've had a few prints made from people who, like artists. So I had one in December from a company called The Lovely Little Details and we worked on that together. So I gave her a quote and she wrote "Happiness is a full bobbin" and made a little postcard size print for you, which was fantastic, and I really enjoy being able to do something that's unique for my customers as well. So yes, I try to include something. It doesn't always happen, but if I can I try to include something a little bit extra special for those boxes. So then comes all the bits and pieces, all the fabrics, all the haberdashery bits all arrive. So subscriptions close on the website on the 25th of the month, and that's when I know exactly how many boxes I'm going to send out that month. So that's when I then place all my orders for the fabrics and the fat quarters and everything. If I can, I've tried to start doing it a little bit in advance and start sort of estimating how many boxes I think I'm going to be sending out, so that it gives me a little bit more time, because subscriptions close on the 25th of the month, the boxes ship on the 8th of the month, so that gives me 2 weeks to get hundreds of boxes made, miles of fabric cut into the right lengths, and that can be a little bit stressful but great as well. I have a few volunteers, so I have my mum, I have my mother-in-law, my dad helped this month, and I've also just started with a lady called Bruna who has started volunteering for me as well, and my father-in-law has said he's more than happy to help out, especially once baby's here as well. So that's been really useful. I just couldn't do it without my lovely team of volunteers. So, and it actually, once everyone's together, it only really takes 2 or 3 days to do all of that, especially now that we're in my new office unit and have the space to do it. That has been a big key thing. So before, for the first year, I was preparing the boxes and the fabric in this room, in my living room, on a dining room table that wasn't big enough for the rolls of fabric, which meant that we had to unroll everything, fold everything in half lengthways, and then measure out the lengths and cut them. So it added that extra process, which was fine at the beginning when I had a couple of rolls of fabric to cut out, but it just became a crazy scene where every single surface in my living room was stacked up with piles of fabric and fat quarters. We couldn't use the living room for a couple of days because I'd have to move everything so that we could just sit on the sofas. So it did become, it started becoming too much, especially having a little one on the way as well. It was time to move into a dedicated space, and it has been the best thing, the best decision that I have ever made for my business. Oh, it's just made it so much easier, so much less, so much more efficient as well. Especially having a giant cutting table. If you haven't seen it, there's a few videos back is my office tour, and you can see this giant cutting table. It's huge, but that's made it just much easier. So that's been fantastic. Ooh, just had about 5 pigeons fly up in the garden. Yeah, then so I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. The fabrics and the fat quarters and everything all arrive in the unit. We prepare them, we box them up, and then I get them shipped out on the 8th of the month, usually, depending if it's a weekend, of course. And then they start arriving a couple of days later, and that's when I get quite nervous. So it's quite a sort of an excited, nervous time waiting to see what you think of the boxes when they arrive. Especially because I try and package them up really beautifully, but unfortunately once they leave my hands and are in the hands of the post services, especially they're going out overseas, they're going to get chucked around, they're going to get knocked upside down and all over the place. So I don't know what kind of state they turn up in. I hope they turn up looking as nice as they do when I send them. But that is nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. So yeah, but luckily you all seem to be really happy when the boxes turn up, so I think that means I'm doing an okay job. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's kind of how I started the business and my process, without giving away all my secrets, of getting the boxes together and sourcing everything. So I hope that's been interesting or useful, or just, yeah, I hope you've found that interesting. If you have any questions, please do let me know below, and I'll try and answer them. And if you have any other questions about sewing or my business or anything like that, I would love to do more Q&A type videos, so do comment below with any questions that you have. So I think I've rambled on long enough. I will stop there, and I hope you all have a really fantastic day, week, weekend, wherever we're at, and I will see you all soon. Bye!